everyone, and welcome back to another video. Since the first half of 2024 just ended, it's about time to make my midway point videos for the year. And just like usual, we're going to be starting with my favorite songs of 2024 so far. To keep things simple, I've made a top 10 list of all of my favorite songs that have come out in 2024 so far, and each section of this video will be covering one of these 10 songs. We'll be starting off with number 10 and making our way all the way up to number 1. Number 1 being my favorite song of the year so far. I also restricted my choices to lead singles / title tracks only because those are the songs that most people will know, but if you want me to talk about my favorite / least favorite B-sides, I'd be more than happy to do so, just let me know. Also, I'm going to be going on vacation for the next 2 weeks. I'll be back on the 15th, so this is probably going to be the last video that you'll see from me for a bit, but no need to worry about me, I'm just going on vacation. But yeah, I don't think there's any more explaining that I need to do for this video, so I guess without further ado, let's just jump in by talking about number 10. After Pop and the album that came with it were both so freaking good, I was kind of worried about how Nayeon's comeback was going to be, considering she set the bar so high for herself, and I gotta say, she did not disappoint. Coming back with another summertime hit, ABCD somehow avoids feeling similar to Pop at all and still feels completely Nayeon-esque. I've seen a decent amount of people saying that ABCD feels more like a Jihyo song, and I can definitely see Jihyo killing it, no pun intended, but I don't know. ABCD just has a really Nayeon sense to it that I think suits her more than anybody else. I really love when Nayeon's able to show off her vocal range and amazing vocal tone, and I think this song's writing makes her sound as good as possible while still being a really impressive and difficult song to cover. I don't know about the rest of you, but the version of ABCD that I have in my playlist is the extended version because it includes the dance break instrumental, which just makes the song so much better than the cut version. I almost never understand why people would want to listen to K-pop songs without the dance break, and I'm always so disappointed when there isn't an official dance break version uploaded to streaming. I'm looking at you, Blue Hour. But anyways, ABCD is just a really good song. I love the obvious Beyonce Crazy in Love influence, and the album is also just as good, if not better than her debut EP. The entire album, though nothing groundbreaking or revolutionary, doesn't have any noticeable weak spots and is leagues ahead of what a lot of other artists have been putting out this year. My favorite B-sides are of course Magic with Kiss of Life's Julie and Holly. I'm excited to see what the rest of this era brings in terms of content and impact, and the only criticism I could really give is that I think we had to wait a little bit too long for her comeback. I feel like TWICE are always touring, which makes sense for the group as a whole, and I'm not saying that Nayeon should overwork herself, but if possible, I'd love to not have to wait another 2 years for her next song. Still, even if we have to wait, I'm sure her next comeback's gonna be really good too. I feel like a lot of people kind of forgot about this song, but I am still a huge tap enjoyer. 2 soloists to start off my top 10 is kind of surprising, but there's only one more soloist on this list, so don't worry, we'll be talking about some actual groups soon. Now, as someone who is actually a really big fan of Taehyung's solo debut because of its unconventional song structure and complex instrumental, I was honestly a little bit disappointed by Tap at first because it's a lot more safe sounding and kind of predictable. Honestly, I do still like Shalala more, but Tap has really grown on me and I kind of love it now. Despite its short runtime, Tap has had a lot of longevity for me and still stands out from a lot of the other singles released by boy groups this year. I love how the instrumental has this booming bass line that incorporates a ton of different percussion to the point where I feel like I notice something new every single time I listen. I think the electronic synths also keep the song from sounding like another generic pop-infused rap track, and overall, Tap is just fun. More fun than a lot of other songs I've heard before. I think Taehyung shows a lot of promise and skill in his composing and lyricism with a lot of diversity in terms of like the types of genres he can excel in, and I also just love his voice, both as a singer and a rapper. I think Taehyung sounds so instantly recognizable while still sounding really good, which I just love. Overall, Tap is just really cute, really fun, and I'm able to loop it over and over again without ever really getting bored, which is proof that it's a really great song, at least for me. It's actually July 1st as I'm writing and recording this, which is the same day that this song came out, so this might be a little hasty to already have them in the top 10, but I feel really confident that I'll still like this song at the end of the year. So at number 8, we have Stacey's Cheeky Icy Thing, which is a ridiculous title, I know, but the song is actually great. Going back to the future funk sound they had during Run to You, Cheeky Icy Things. God, I can't say that title without cringing a little bit. Cheeky Icy Things' excellence comes from its groovy beat and lyrics that don't take themselves too seriously. The song is really confusing on its first listen because it's kind of hard to understand what's happening until you've gotten a couple of listens under your belt. I mean, I thought the pre-chorus was the chorus until my second time listening, and that might sound like it's a bad thing, but honestly, I feel like that just means that each part of the song is really catchy and is super earwormy. It's addictive. I really love the melody of the chorus. I think it sounds so quintessentially Stacy while still being unique, and I don't know, I just love a song that's fun and knows that it's fun. My only complaint is that I wish it was longer because a lead single being 2 minutes and 30 seconds is honestly kind of ridiculous, but I mean, it's whatever. The song's really good and the album's pretty good too, even though I've only listened through it once. So far, the standout B-sides are probably One Thing or maybe Troublemaker, but I'm definitely gonna have to give this album a couple more listens. Still, the lead single is really good, and I can't wait to listen to it some more. Now, if I was to make a video called 2024 K-pop songs that deserved better, Untouchable by ITZY would probably be up at number 1 because this song barely got a portion of the attention that I think it deserved. But today, we're just here to talk about why I think it's so great. First of all, I'm just a big fan of EDM, especially industrial pop-esque EDM like this, and Untouchable feels like a K-popified version of Just Dance by Lady Gaga, bringing a sound to K-pop that I think stands out from a lot of other stuff that's been released this year. Above all, what I want from an ITZY song is to be energized, and Untouchable perfectly delivers on that aspect. Untouchable's bridge is honestly one of the shortest bridges that I've ever heard, although a lot of songs these days just don't have bridges. Either way, despite Untouchable's bridge being really short, it has such an impact, and the final chorus of this song hits so hard because of it. I mean, that final high note by Chaeryeong, chef's kiss, come on now. I also want to give a special shout out to the songs Mr. Vampire and Chaeryeong's solo Mine that were on this album. I feel like not many people talk about ITZY's B-sides anymore, but they have continued to put out high quality music, whether it's being properly promoted or not. And I gotta commend them and everyone involved for that. Honestly, I think I like Mr. Vampire more than Untouchable even, but since it wasn't a true comeback for the group, I decided not to include it, but if I did put it in this list, it would probably be top 5. Despite the decline in popularity, I feel like ITZY is continuing to improve with each new era, and I will definitely be tuning into what they do next. If you told me at the beginning of this year that Blackpink's Lisa would be releasing my favorite 2024 solo song, I would have believed you, but it's still really nice to see people live up to the expectations. As someone who really enjoys Lisa's voice, whether she's rapping or singing, it is so awesome to see her do a lot of both in this song, and very well at that. Her singing voice sounds so full, which is a testament to the production value of this song. This track sounds expensive, and I mean, the music video shows that Lisa was not holding back when it came to this comeback. You would think that the harsh transitions between the R&B and trap sections in this song wouldn't work because there's really no grace period given to listeners to adjust. The instrumental will instantly change between the harder and softer parts with no in-between sections, but for some reason, it totally makes sense, and I've been obsessed. Much like ABCD, I've been listening to the extended version, which has that 30-second dance break included at the end. That extra 30 seconds really makes all the difference, and it takes this song from a 9 out of 10 all the way to a 10 for sure. And this song's only at number 6. There has undoubtedly been a lot of stiff competition this year, but still, Rockstar is amazing, and hopefully there's an album coming our way soon. When NewJeans first debuted, I really did not engage with any of their content because I did not like the idea of supporting their CEO Min Heejin, but recently I've been listening to their music without streaming it, and man, am I glad I did because How Sweet is seriously maybe their best song yet. Somehow, despite still really fitting with the rest of the group's discography, How Sweet feels a lot more my style and is even more catchy than their earlier releases. Maybe I'm just a sucker for vocals in a lower register, whether it's a girl or a guy singing, but no matter how many times I listen to How Sweet, I'd never get annoyed with it. I think my favorite part of this song is definitely the pre-chorus with the talk singing, which is kind of crazy because I'm usually not the biggest fan of talk whisper singing in general, but I think maybe I just haven't heard it done right before because this song definitely changed things for me. I don't think NewJeans necessarily has a bad song, but this is easily my favorite release of theirs this year and might be my favorite song of theirs, period. Riize are proving every day that new boy groups don't just have to do cute concepts or EDM, and really topped everything they've done before with Impossible. Literally being my intro song, I'm sure most of you expected this to be in my top 10, and I hope no one thinks that it's undeserved because, wow, this song is great. I feel like this track really rises, excuse the pun, above the majority of summer K-pop tracks because it's not your typical tropical house or over-the-top bright song. It's a dancey house track that resembles songs like Shiny's View or even Four Walls by FX. I guess I'm just a sucker for SM house tracks, but Impossible feels simultaneously like classic and modern K-pop, and I think there's something really special about that. The combination of effortlessly great vocals and addictive melodies makes me think that this song is going to be one of the most remembered of its generation, and if not, well then I guess people just have bad taste. Kidding, but yeah, this song needs to be famous.
Watch me, don't touch me, love me, don't hurt me, watch me, don't touch me.
Since their debut, IVE has been one of the most consistently great groups of the fourth generation, and their latest comeback is no exception. I'd say it was a toss-up between Ascendio and the other title track included in this album, Heya, but it really wasn't. Ascendio knocks Heya out of the water every time, at least in my opinion. From the insane hook in the post-chorus to the crazy high notes from Liso, who isn't even a lead vocalist in the pre-chorus, every moment of this song hits and feels like a killing part. The Dear Priest line in the first verse is so instantly iconic and is such a good opening to a magical sounding song. Every member really gets their moment to shine, and considering not a single part of this song is bad, that just means every member is a great performer. This song is so good at building tension, and something I only noticed because of my friend and fellow K-pop YouTuber Chromally is that each chorus adds a new instrumental element that eventually leads to the super full and grand sounding final chorus. Realistically, I should have realized that on my own, but I've just been too busy enjoying the song to sit down and analyze it like that because it's just so addictive, and it's definitely one of my favorite K-pop songs ever.
When I touch ya, kiss ya, you're gone, realize.
Britney Spears is one of my all-time favorite pop stars, and when I heard Midas Touch for the first time and realized that it sounds just like something she'd put out in the 2000s, I knew I was gonna be obsessed. Honestly, my obsession even started before the song was officially out because I was hooked since the first teaser dropped. I even found the snippet that Mnet releases on M Countdown like a week before Kiss of Life actually released any audio clips themselves. It was really bad for me. And I mean, when the full thing dropped, I was not disappointed. As of now, it's actually my most played song of the year so far, and it just narrowly missed out on first place, but honestly, maybe tomorrow I'll have changed my mind, who knows. This song has everything I could ever want in a Britney-inspired K-pop track, including confident vocals, an annoying yet addictive synth line, and an instantly iconic main melody. I mean, it's hard to say why this song is great, it just is. I love the breakdown moment in the bridge where each member gets a line where they reference their solo songs from their debut era. They really made that section special for fans without sounding out of place, and I applaud the writers as well as the producers. Kiss of Life haven't had a miss for me yet, and I only see them going up from here. Or at least I hope so. In first place, being ranked first in yet another video of mine, is Aespa with their song Armageddon. If you've been keeping up to date with my videos, this really shouldn't be a surprise, but I'm not going to sit here and lie just to make things unpredictable. Despite literally having a song named Drama, I think Armageddon is by far Aespa's most dramatic title track, and I'm literally obsessed. One of the reasons that Aespa's music is so great to me is that they are not afraid to put a nasty dance break in their songs, and I think Armageddon's dance break with the throw it back, throw it back, throw it back line is so amazing. This is one of those songs where even if you don't really care about choreography usually, you probably have that dance playing in your head when you're listening to it, and that just makes it even better for me. I know most people like Supernova more than Armageddon, and I definitely understand that, but there was never really a contest in my mind. Armageddon was always taking the crown. When it comes to futuristic music and K-pop, no one really does it better than Aespa, and they serve amazing concepts all while delivering insane vocals too. Probably better than any active group right now, if we're being bold. One of the most creative groups in K-pop, and definitely in my top 3 right now. I love Aespa, and everything they've done this year has been fantastic. And, well, yeah, I guess that ends the commentary section of this video. So thank you all so much for watching, and let me know your top 5 songs of the year so far in the comment section down below. As I said earlier, this is probably going to be my last video until at least like the 15th, the 16th, so I'm sorry about that. But as soon as I can, I'll be putting out some more content for you guys in the future. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. So, peace out.